Adventure sailing. Oh God, don't come on my boat, buddy. He looks in distress, I think. There might be a shark around or something, or he's just playing. Uh-oh, I'm gonna move. I don't want this guy jumping in my boat. Holy smoke. You don't see this very often when they're going this nuts. He doesn't look injured. Wow. 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 Jr Invitational Regatta. We got 5 boats, one's still on their way. It's been a busy month. We've had kids sailing sabots. We've had kids sailing lasers. We've had C420s last weekend, so 3 weekends in a row. Now we got this weekend. High school sailing just started. 3 days a week FJ sailing, so the 29er fleet's a little small, but the best part is we have USA 4, the 9 Heist brothers here, who are just transitioning into new stuff, moving into 49ers and stuff, as they're aging out a little, or Noah is. But they're the best. They know more about 29ers than anybody I've ever known, and they help teach these younger. So this is like a regatta with a clinic. Race 1, Saturday, September 24th. And there's sabots racing inside. Here we go, we're working on accelerations. We load the boat up with the sails. So if I was this 1997, I wouldn't start right next to the team that has medaled at the Youth Worlds, but I probably would have reset at about a minute when I saw them near me. The goal for the first race of regatta, well, our goals are Turkey Day regattas coming up in November, then there's the Orange Bowl in December, and then there is Youth World Qualifier February and March. That sea lion is still messing with us. Okay, this is looking good. These are the new team right down there, Kevin and Holland, looking really good. They've done one 29er regatta before and trained them in 420 spinnaker trapeze class first, and that's their 2 boats now, 420s and 29ers. And then Holland will skipper in the 420 something. Holland will skipper in the 29ers. And this is Wyatt and Oliver. This is the first time they've sailed an A-grade boat. They got one of the HPYS boats, boat number 4. High Performance Youth Sailing does a youth grant program for teams like this that are going to go after the Youth World Qualifiers for 2023. Yeah, so these guys are data point. They also do that. 29ers and 420s. I think all these guys are 8th graders. Bronze medalists at the Youth Worlds. 8th place at the Open Worlds in 2021. When it's windy, upwind, they look like they're on airplane wing. They go so fast. Beautiful out here. Not enough kids out here, but half of them just don't get along. It's so hard to pair kids up. It drives me nuts. But it's like a little regatta clinic right now. It's super good. First race. So that's Oliver and Wyatt. Wyatt crewing. Here's Kevin and Holland right here. Giving the boys bits. They got 23rd at the Perry last week in their first regatta, and they were at 16th after the first day out of 43 boats in the Perry. Kevin and Holland. Look how good they look, man. Overstanding right now. Race 1, first run, and the mode is kind of a BMG soak mode, so you're kind of changing between the two. The hardest part is the skipper looking backwards. You know, you got to be able to kind of look around. You look back at a 45-degree angle towards me from that position quite a bit, because this is where the wind that you're jiving into is the wind that's coming over from here. And then here's Kevin. And light spots, the knuckle of the bow in the water a little bit. And this is not a light spot. Puffs, the knuckles out of the water. The better the boat feels, the flatter you sail. And then you have to remember that the boat will turn itself down when you're flat. If you get the boat flat, the spinnaker will pull the bow down. These guys are light. They were talking 200 pounds. These guys are probably 260. 9 Heinz's are probably 290, 300 or something. I'm not sure. 6'4" and 6'1", I know that. Oh, Kevin, just pouncing. Jack Jocelyn trainer. Yeah, look at these guys. They almost missed the gate. This is going to be entertaining right here. They are going above a beam reach with the kite, and they're going to have to pull the kite down. So that next spinnaker set's going to be a little interesting. They're a little bit complicated, boat skiffs are, and you've got to keep the sheet on a little as you start to pull the thing down. You can't just blow the sheet, especially on a jibe. When you jibe, you get a reverse spin on the vortex off the main switches, so then it just twists. But we'll see how it goes. It's not like you hold the sheet tight as you drop, but the sheet usually can't just be blown off if you expect it to go up straight. Now, if it's windy, you do whatever you can, but this is not, as you know, this isn't windy.
I had you loud and clear, Jerry.
Adventure sailing. These guys are 200 pounds soaking wet in that yellow kite. It's blowing about 9 knots, maybe a puff to 10.
I'll let him know that he should be picking this up. This conversation. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Rough life.
but I didn't get any reply back. Let me try again here. Almost middle of it.
Got a fishing tournament going on. A couple guys got marlin. Here comes Wills and Ronan winning the first race from 3rd to 1st. It's gonna make them feel good. Remember, they started next to guys that are some of the best in the world. Easily the best I've seen in a 29er, the 9 Ice Boys. Easily. And that's saying a lot. Not easily, I can't, you know, it's hard to say easily when you saw Riley Gibbs and Clemens and all those guys too, Harris Hankin. But man, cool. Colin's getting really good at being low on the trap. That's awesome. Jack Jocelyn train, man. Boy, pretty light. Now the course has changed. Now the starting line is the green buoys. Windward start, windward mark, go around the gates, windward mark, finish down right here. And pin is very favored, very short line. And what's so cool is USA 4, they're transitioning out of the 29er for Noah, and they're training Ian to start crewing now. So this is just awesome. These guys help carry our 29er program, man. They give so much to the team. And watching them sail for the last 6.5, they started at age 9 for Ian, 11 for Noah, I think. This is Carly and Kate. Oh, Kevin. Inches off the line. One of our goals today was figuring out how the break of the jib is. The windward telltale's breaking evenly when you need power, and the leech of the jib's probably lined up with the spreader at that point. That's kind of proximate. As you get better and better, you'll be able to go a little further in. Now what's happening today is the wind angle and the wave angle, swell angle are different, so port tack is difficult. You're going to see him go through a heel phase, and then you're going to see him go through a real flat, almost heel to windward phase, because as the swell launches you towards me, you get less apparent wind. Now they're in the windiest part of the race so far. Flat boat, rail barely gets to the water. Exactly right. So the wind has built since we started. This is about 9 knots here on the right. Each of the jib is just outside the spreader for them, barely. This is good. So we've got Oliver skippering with Wyatt. Our goals were for Wyatt to sit further forward, and in the light spots, that means Oliver, the skipper, sitting further forward, and Wyatt moving fore and aft a little upwind. In the light spots, moving forward a little. In the puffs, stepping back a little. And then our other goals for them were downwind for Wyatt to move way forward in the light spots. And then back to a normal position. So that was for everybody. You've got to move 2 feet forward in the light spots. Okay, we got 9 knots. Going a little too early on the jib. So those guys made the mistake of jibing too much. You got to pick one of the buoys. You got to figure out the angle pretty early. I can teach you about. If you are lifted on port tack, you're going to the right gate buoy. This one over here, looking down the right. So if you're lifted on port tack. If you're headed on port tack coming downwind, you go to this one. And you can figure out the starboard thing too. So I think you guys were lifted on port, so we should have been going to that one. So what you'd have done downwind is you just come over here, overstand, and just ripped across and taken the spinnaker down at that one. You did 3 jibes in the last minute. So a standard rule of skiffs is pick a side as you're coming, overstand it by a fraction, and come ripping in an angle. Most of the time. Don't overstand by much, barely, but don't understand, because then you're gonna jibe 3 times to everybody else's 1. Wills and Ronan. Wills started sailing the 29er about a year and a half ago or something, and he had already did Orange Bowl and several regattas. And then Ronan's been in the boat for a year-ish. So they've paired up here. Goals for them is just to get against the very best teams they can, and just their practice mode just needs to always be 100% all the time. Not that they won't, but they just, sometimes maybe people don't know. In skiffs, we got to get to that point where we can sail 100% focus, 100% effort, without, you know, getting rough in the boat. I still think they carry their jib too far out. So, I mean, they're winning this race by a long way, but you got to have the leech of the jib's got to be in line with the spreader, very close, I believe. And we're going to look at the break of his jib before race 3. We're going to have him go upwind. We're going to see if the windward telltale at the top is luffing before the bottom one. Hello. These guys look good. Look at this. They're in 3rd. Very good. Stay high if you can, so that when you tack, you're on the wind. This is kind of a clinic regatta, you know, we're all working as a team here today to try to make everybody better. That's what the HPYS program does. It's like it's based on the Howie Hamlin mantra of sailing, and that is communicate, 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 share, be friends, communicate some more, share. And that's how they built the best 505 program in the world. And that's what we try to mimic with the 29er HPYS, or just the 29er program as best we can. Oh wow, Kevin and Holland, nice. Their leeches, everybody's leeches are opening too much. They gotta go looser, out, haul more bang. If he's the main sheet 1 inch, the leech goes out 5.5. The top leech, so you can't have that. Yeah. And then we're talking about downwind in the light spots. You gotta put the knuckle down in the water a little bit more in the light spots. If you lean back too much, you pooch the stern. One thing we want to do is we do not want to jibe just because everybody else jibes. A lot of times we do. Everybody comes around and jibes. It better be a big righty also. If you're not sure of the wind shift, don't be afraid to go on the starboard for a little bit. And then you got to go, you can't go a little bit. You got to go 20 boat lengths and make sure you're not jibing into a position that's behind and to leeward. Great. End of race 2. 2 more races to go. And comments are, we need a little more power in the bottom of our mainsails here. Our jibs can't be too tight downwind. That looks pretty good for them. A couple other boats, if your jib's too tight, or the bottom, or your vang is still on and your main's too flat, you have to reach more in the light spots. got to have a powered up main so you don't have to reach up in light spots as much. Very good, Wills and Ronan. Now we got to do the race takedowns. I mean, we got to do the pre-race takedown. Right after you finish, you want to trim the windward left sheet in a ways, drop the kite kind of slowly and kind of have the kite spread out as you pull it into the bag. That's going to make it ready for the next race. I'm going to tell them. 1st windward. I like it. See, I don't think port looks any closer to the mark, and I love it that the new guy. See how they got to let the vang off though. See how high you have to go when the bottom of your main is that flat. The thing is though, is they've been good downwind. They've been more in the VMG mode. They've been a little more in the VMG mode than the soak mode. They went far enough. That's good. You just don't want to be behind and to leeward of a bunch of people. There we go. Move forward, dude. Pooch in the stern. When you lean back like that, you just stick the stern right down in the water. See how high he's going? It might be working. We're gonna see. Yeah. So the wind's gotten lighter. 7 to 9 knots, and you guys have started to zigzag back and forth a little too high. So what do we need to work on? We need to work on powering up the main. We need our outhaul looser. We need the vang looser downwind. You're having to go so high. Your mainsail stalled downwind because it's so flat. Jibing too much, no problem. What do we got here? These guys are doing pretty well, man. This is their first real regatta in a real boat, I think. First 29er regatta. So these guys from Dana Point doing well. Harley and Kate did much better this race because they had their vang more set so that upwind the bottom of their main was flatter, and then downwind their boom wasn't skyrocketing. The boom was up downwind, just not that much. They had so much twist, it was just wackadoodle. Okay, here we go. 9 heists is first. I shortened the windward leg since the wind died. Okay, I'd say that was a pretty darn good jibe right there. And this race is not over. These guys are really fast upwind. Wide out. Race 3, last windward. It has been some really close racing. Jib loose, bang so that the boom is going up in the air. Look at these guys, 3rd place right here. Yeah, nice 10 knot breeze here. Great, look at those guys go. Scoot forward, see how she's leaning back? Scoot forward in the light. Just move your whole butt forward to the shroud when it gets light like this. That'll help get the stern out of the water and this boat will soak better. Oh, look at them go. Main's too tight, main's too flat, but look at them go. Jib's too tight. Jib too tight just sucks in the spinnaker a little. But they look good. Look at them, dude. I'd rather have them going too high or too fast. I think they're really fast in 10 knots and not very fast downwind in 6. And that's okay. sheet the left sheet in right now, jibe, and take the spinnaker down. Especially if it was a light wind day, you'd really keep that darn thing dry. Okay, great racing. One more race for Saturday. Come out tomorrow, it's gonna be 2 knots windier. Cool. Last race on Saturday. Little mackerel weird sky. This is quite good breeze right out here left middle, man. Looks a little light right here. We wouldn't want to start at the boat and tack, I don't think. There could be some wind up there. Just upwind of the air. I think it'd be okay. I'm gonna say 10 knots for the start, maybe gusting, yeah, 10 knots. Again, what you do to accelerate, you turn down, you trim the sails pretty powerful, pressing hard on them, and that heels the boat way over. And then you perfectly trapeze against that pressure. And try not to shoot, as the Nyanheisa said this morning, you try not to shoot the bow up super fast as you're flattening the boat. You try to do a kind of a split the difference head up. You kind of head up as you do the flatten, but you don't yank the bow up. See, I think everybody did a pretty good job. Oh, too bad. That's all right. That was so close. Last race on Saturday. You're looking for twist differences. We're all different weights. You have a team that's probably 300, 290, I'm guessing. You have a team that's barely 200. So that sails are gonna look different for different teams. You always have to rationalize things with weight. Smaller people use more bang earlier. Smaller people move back and go into planing mode in the V&G mode. The planing mode. Quicker upwind. And that's something we're going to learn. How do you know how to change modes as you go from 4 knots to 8 knots, and then from 8 knots to 12 knots, from 12 to 22? You know, you gradually are doing things completely different.
Well, thank you much.
It looks like Will's on the left is more twisted. Both sails more twisted. I think the bottom of their main looks perfect. You know, I don't mind this mode where, you know, it's not 10 knots anymore, it's about 8. And so we got Carly on the floor, just guiding the boat, not even steering, just guiding. Let Kate do all of the moving. Bottom of the main was great. If you had an overbend rig, that'll probably indicate too much bang. You don't need very much bang right now. You're not using the main. You just have the bang kind of stuck hard so that you squeeze the main and it doesn't rise straight up. Their top leads tilt is flowing all the time. So in the light spot, she actually wants to pump the main. She just did it. In the light spot, she can even pump the main just in for a second to reload the boat, make sure she doesn't heel too quickly. Oh, there we go. You see what happens with the swells? Top of the swell, now she's going to get a puff in the trough. Little puff. And then when you get on the top of that swell, the skipper is really lured to bear away. And that's right when Kate should be pumping the main. Right as the boat feels like it wants to turn down, she pumps the main in an inch or two. Not more than that. swell coming in about 5 or 6 seconds here that's going to make her go dead flat again. It should be right now. See how she heels to windward? That's because the swell, I'm on the swell right now, the swell launches you sideways, decreases the apparent wind. And really what she needs to do is head up in those spots. When she feels the boat go over flat, she's got to push the tiller or not pull the tiller towards her, because you just stay, trust me, thousands of people have done this in their lives. You can't reload on the swell. You can't bear away and hope the sails are going to get more power. You just stay on that swell, so you're getting a decrease in the apparent wind for longer. You just got to get off the swell. And then starboard tack is simple. You're going into the swell, so now starboard, the apparent wind isn't changing at all. What I'm talking about right now is what makes San Diego sailors, especially California sailors, very good at world level, is that we grow up out here having to sail cross swell, where the swell is hitting us straight from the side. It just does all kinds of stuff to the wind direction. Jules and Ronan having a great day.
Yeah, big
The bang is already loose. See, we talked about that. Have the bang 4 to 8 inches looser. Maybe did it right now 4 to 6 inches looser than your upper
it's
setting.
about 0.8 gallons
Do it
or
before the mark.
1.8, you know. Can't find the tenor today, and then the wind come up, and it's like, I don't want to be any farther south, you know.
Oh boy. Good move, Will. You don't want to jibe set in front of those guys. That's about as good a jibe set as you can do.
That's all I hear is a few marlin caught today. That's good. That's a good day for you guys.
Very high on the trapeze. See, that's another thing you guys have to learn. When you're in more of a soak mode, you go really high. This is not,
Good luck to you.
for these guys, this
Good luck
is
the
not
rest of
soak
the day. Go
mode.
get
They're
another
about to
one.
take off.
Congratulations, by the way.
This is a big puff about hitting me right now. Bye-bye. He's just reaching too much. He's got to learn to sail the boat flat and go lower. This is just amazing racing. Coach Emma when she did 29ers like this. Right there. 7, 8 years ago. 7. Kids are lucky to have these coaches. Our college national champs. Emma out of Boston College this year. Graduated this year. He could step forward a little bit. The knuckle's a little too far out of the water in 8 knots. That's alright. As soon as you're bending your knees, you got to step forward in these boats. That gets the stern out of the water, puts the bow in the water, which lengthens the water line, and mostly reduces stern drag. But it also helps the boat not slip sideways, and it helps lateral resistance a little too. So then the boat doesn't want to bear away as easy. It's pretty light right there, so they look pretty good right here.